Second 2. I hope you are fine. Let's start chapter unit 2, which is talking about the transport in living organisms. As we said before, there is second characteristics of living organisms, which is transportation. For sure, all living organisms need transportation, like plants. As a plant, for sure, it transports the water from down to up, and transport also food from up to down after doing what? After doing photosynthesis process. We said that the primitive plants like algae or lower plants, they are transferring the raw materials that done by photosynthesis process by either by diffusion or by active transport. Diffusion, that means from high concentration to low concentration, or active transport from low concentration to high concentration. While in higher plants, the gases move through the higher plants. Higher means that they have root, stem, and leaves. But lower plants that don't have root, stem, and leaves, like the algae. Higher plants, they can move the gases here by diffusion, and also they need special system to do this function, which is of transportation. While the small animal, like Hydra, Protozoa, also it diffuses the water and the gas and food inside the body. While the higher animals or higher humans, they need special system for transportation. Let's start with transportation in higher plants. We said that it needs special system. And here we remember before that we have a xylem and the phloem. We took it in secondary one. Yes. Secondary one, we said that the xylem vessels take the water and salt from the roots, then to the stem, then to the leaves. Yeah, and the leaves taking the water and doing photosynthesis process. And when doing photosynthesis process, it produces a food. Yes, it would produce a food or carbohydrates, and this is taken by the phloem, which is called sieve tube or phloem, and distribute it to other parts of plants to get energy. Let's take the structure of the stem. Here in front of you, the structure of the stem. We have three layers. The first layer, which is called epidermis layer. Epidermis layer. And this layer is covered with cutin or cuticle layer or waxy layer. For sure, you remember why? Yeah, of course, to reduce the loss of the water by transpiration process. The second layer here is called cortex. Called what? Cortex. So the first is epidermis and second is cortex. The cortex here consists of three layers, which are collenchyma cells and parenchyma cells and starch sheath. Collenchyma, parenchyma, starch sheath. Collenchyma, yeah. Collenchyma here, they are collenchyma because they are contain solidified material that between their cells, which is cellulose. And the other layer, which is the parenchyma, that not solidified, they have a space or intermolecular space, intercellular space, it's intercellular space to allow the air to pass through it. And the last layer is called starch sheath, which contains granules of starch. Like, you remember like what? Yeah, of course, like chloroplast, which have in stroma have what? Starch granules. Here also in the stem we have starch sheath. Let's start with the epidermis layer. It's barrel-shaped and it has parenchyma cells, and the outer layer covered with cuticle layer to prevent the loss of the water. And second layer here is the cortex. And this cortex layer, we said that before, huh? Yeah, it has several rows. The first one is called what? It's called collenchyma and thickened by cellulose. Why? To give support, for sure. It's a solid substance. And also it may contain chloroplast to do photosynthesis process. The internal layer, which is the parenchyma, it's important for aeration as it have interstellar space. And the third layer, which is star sheath here, which is the innermost row of the cortex, and it stores starch in form of starch grains. Okay, guys, here we have the third layer, which is called vascular cylinder. Vascular cylinder here, look where in the transverse section of the stem is called vascular cylinder, all of them. Inside the vascular cylinder, we have vascular bundle and other things inside the vascular cylinder. Let's start with the vascular bundle. We have in the vascular cylinder something called pericycle. What is a pericycle? I will see you now. And we have this part of pericycle. If you want to see it, it's this part. Look. It is a cell that's below the star sheath. This pericycle consists of alternative groups of parenchyma cells or fibers, a group of fibers are different in shape, and their function to support the stem and also give it its elasticity, okay, to become elastic because of pericycle's role. And second, which is the vascular bundle, which contains xylem and phloem. They have triangular shapes. If we take it as a not transverse section, longitudinal section, a transverse section, we can see it as triangular in shape. Yeah, here phloem. Yeah, phloem is the outer tissue of the bundle and consists of sieve tube and the companion cell. Sieve tube, yeah, they are tubes that the phloem have a sieve tube, which is a long cells or long tissue composed of more than one cell, and their transverse wall are pitted to allow the water and cytoplasm to pass as a cytoplasmic strands. So it allows the food to pass through these sieve tubes, and it helps it, which is a companion cell, as the companion cell contains mitochondria to give it energy to the sieve tubes to move the food. Why is the xylem? The xylem, yeah, it's inner part of the bundle. It consists of xylem vessels and tracheids. Tracheids also just for storage as important, but the xylem is transfer the water from root to stem to the leaves and also support the tissue. For sure, the xylem have also not xylem vessels and tracheids only, but have also xylem parenchyma cells. Also, the phloem have a sieve tube and companion cell, and also parenchyma, phloem parenchyma cells that just for cells that doing aeration, not more than function. Let's stop at this part and to complete this. The structure of the stem. Inshallah, in the next video, start this part well for the structure of the stem. Thank you and goodbye.